It is December already, and I know you are like me, cannot believe the year has gotten away from us. And like y'all, I'm kind of ready for 2015 to be done. I made some mistakes this year, had some successes, but I don't want to rest on my laurels, and I don't want to be eat up by things I did wrong. I want to do better, do right, and do a great job in 2016. So what I just got back from is what's called my team advance with my fantastic agents. And we don't call it a retreat, by the way, because a retreat involves just looking backwards, and we want to look ahead. So we do celebrate our successes because we're very grateful that so many people used us to buy and sell houses in Charlotte this year, but we want to know how we can do a better job. As an industry, we have tended to be agent and broker centric first, and we're not very consumer centric except for the boots on the ground. So part of our discussion involved how do we make real estate a better process for the end consumer, because that's kind of who matters in all this, and y'all know that, I know. And so in doing our 2016 planning, it's not just about dollars, it's not about transactions and volume, although that's part of the discussion. The biggest thing we're talking about is how can we change this experience for the consumer so that they will love real estate more, and by extension appreciate what we as realtor bring to the table. So we start off by looking at who we're dealing with now, and we use the report from NAR called the Profile of Home Buyers and Sellers. And if you haven't downloaded it, go to realtor.org and get it, y'all. It's some of the best available information we have, and a lot of the members of NAR don't even bother to pull it down. And y'all, that's the power of a big association. I mean, for real, they can slice it and dice it, and it's fantastic information. And if you're not a geek, and if you don't like numbers and statistics, that's okay, because it's a really nicely written narrative that will walk you through who you're dealing with and help you think about real estate from a whole different standpoint. So like, one of the fascinating pieces of information is that the number of for sale by owner sellers has gone down to its lowest level since 1981. I know, right? Because anecdotally we act like it's different, but if you look at statistics, it takes the anecdotes out of play so you can be more proactive in your planning. So anyway, in addition to that, we used an article from the Harvard Business Review's edition of October 2015, and it's called When the Customer is Stressed. Because y'all know real estate is so stressful, not just for us, but for our buyers and sellers. And the author is Leonard Berry, Scott Davis, and Jody Wilmette. And you can pull it down from the Harvard Business Review site. In fact, I did not go to Harvard because they don't allow accents there, frankly. But mainly, you might not be aware that there's fantastic research available, even to regular people who didn't go to Harvard. And this article brings up a lot of really interesting things to think about. And we can talk more about it in the future. But what we focused on is that in this high emotion process of doing houses, there are 5 things that happen. There's a lack of familiarity with the service being delivered. Yes, buyers and sellers don't know as much about real estate as you do, but you got to make sure that you're getting them familiar with it so they know what to expect. And lack of control over performance. Preach, preach, because we have such a wide variation of experience and expertise level in this industry. So of course, there's a lack of control over performance. We know this. We got to work on it, right? We got to get our education better. And then there's major consequences if things go wrong, and that does make real estate stressful, because you all know that when things go wrong, it can be an enormously huge explosion of trouble, whether it's a divorce or an estate sale or just a family trying to do a domino closing from one house to the other. Complexity that gives the provider the upper hand. We had a long discussion about that, because as realtors, we often don't feel we have the upper hand because we do not have a ton of control, but the consumers think that we do. So this is a conversation about how do we better consult with our clients. And then a long duration over a series of events, because some transactions, y'all, they last forever, and consumers feel the same way. They get a little tired of us too. So we were talking about better ways to serve the consumer next year. And I want to challenge you that you sit down sometime between now and the end of the year and put a plan together. And it should involve how much business you want to do, but I'd like for you to decide how you're going to do your business better. Are you going to get more education? Are you going to take that CRS course you've been thinking about? Are you going to get a designation finally and figure out what all the fuss is about? Are you going to go to a class that's not real estate related, maybe an entrepreneurism class or a public speaking class at Toastmasters, and get better at something related to your business? And by the way, you got to look after yourself too, so maybe you'll have some fitness goals in there, or you'll have a goal to have a date night with your loved one, or some time with your kids, a vacation, because you know that makes your business increase, go on vacation. So put together this master plan. If you want copies of the information of what we do at our Team Advance, shoot me a message. I'm always glad to share. But most of y'all have fantastic brokers too. Those brokers will sit down with you and help you put a plan together. So y'all, let's all work together, and in 2016 be the beginning of a whole new era in real estate.